Hello, everyone. Welcome to Food Fusion. I'm Charles Matheson. In this podcast, I talk about a little bit of this, a little bit of that, mainly food, culture, and travel. So, I was just in Europe and I was in Berlin and was there for about a week. And by chance, I was there during Gallery Week. Gallery Week was April 25th to April 29th. And during Gallery Week, the galleries are open for extended periods of time, and art lovers can go in and can look at the art without having that compulsion to feel like you have to buy something. I kind of feel like when I feel like going into art galleries, should I go in or not? Knowing that I'm not looking to spend $10,000 on a piece of art. But anyway, it was great. I actually stayed at an Airbnb on top of a gallery, and the Deschler Gallery, to be specific, in Augustrasse or August Street in Berlin, Mitte. And the gallery was on the gallery street. So, I mean, the universe was just really working and making everything perfectly work for me on this trip. So, it's great to be around all this creative energy and the galleries and being on top of a gallery in the gallery street on Gallery Week. So, that was great. And I'm going to be talking about some of my observations that I saw on this trip. So, this was my first time traveling in Europe during the springtime. And I have to say that this is probably the best time to travel in Europe because the fares are cheaper, it's not too hot, and there are fewer crowds. In the summertime, it's just nuts. And I really got to see a side of Europe that I've never seen before. I've traveled to Europe many, many times, mainly to Germany, the Netherlands, and Spain. However, never in the springtime. So this was a really pleasant surprise. So I stayed at an Airbnb for about a week and I really enjoyed myself. I saw some old friends that I hadn't seen in 15 to 17 years. It really was like a homecoming for me. And I noticed that Berlin is much more diverse than when I first started going there. I started going to Berlin in 1998. And the story behind that is that my minor in college was German, and I wanted to learn German. So I had to, where better to go than to Germany to speak German? So I met some people in Germany and we've been friends ever since. That was like 1998. So I met these friends and we had dinners and it was really amazing. And Berlin is a much more diverse place. One sees it on the subway, on the trains. It's becoming younger with a noticeable increase in the young immigrant population. One hears multiple languages riding the subway, and it's a different type of energy. When I was there back in the late 90s before the euro, when they still had the Deutsche Marks, Berlin was still a scrappy city. It was the capital of Berlin, but when you of Germany, but when you went there, it didn't feel like it because the East was still integrating into the West, and it was a much more grungy, underground, very cheap scene, and that's not the case anymore. But nonetheless, Berlin is a great place if you are into art and design. The art and design scene is excellent there. I saw some design pieces of exceptional creativity and function. The Hackesche Markt, or Hackesche Market, in the part of the city called Mitte, or Middle, is one place to go to find such pieces. It's one of Berlin's art hubs. It's brimming with galleries, cafes, and restaurants. And the Hackesche Höfe is a space containing many unique boutiques selling good design items. One place to visit is the Lumas Galarie, and they sell very good design items from Diesel. I got a Starman vase that's based on David Bowie's song Starman, to Jeff Koons, the artist, and you can buy one of his works. I don't know if you're aware of he makes these items that look like balloons and he turns them into animals. And there was a piece there for $17,000 that one could buy. So if you have that kind of money, you could definitely go there and get some art from the more established artists and from other brands like Diesel. In terms of museums, the Berlinische Galarie is exceptional. As of the time of this recording, there was an outstanding exhibition at the Berlinische Galerie by Hans Ullmann, and he made sculptures out of metal, and it was very, very good. I love sculptures out of metal, so that really had my attention and my adoration. And the Bauhaus Museum is also located in Berlin, and is also a must for those who adhere to the abstract, angular, and geometric design philosophy. However, it's closed right now for renovation. As of May 2024, there's a temporary spot. However, you definitely want to go and see the regular collection it's when the space has been renovated. Now let's go to food. Berlin is a melting pot of foods. It has many options for culinary creation and experimentation. There's an abundance of Asian food markets and fusion restaurants. One in particular that comes to mind is Shiso Burger. It was right across the street from my Airbnb. And this restaurant, they fuse together fast food and vegetarian meals with Asian influence. I had a delicious fried shrimp burger with wasabi, mayonnaise, and French fries. It's in the Augustrasse in Berlin Mitte, and it actually has affiliates throughout Western Europe. And there's also one, I believe, in the Seychelles, just off the coast of Africa, of Southern Africa. I forget the name of that country, but it is a chain and it was excellent. Berlin has really matured in the sense that it's not so gritty anymore. Parts of the city that were once fringe and struggling have become front and center anchors of the city's creative scene, like Mitte and Prenzlauer Berg. Uh, Mitte is now what Soho is in New York City. I really could not believe how, I hate to say, sterile Mitte has become, but it did look great. Actually, I gotta say, it was really a nice experience. Mitte is one of the most desirable places to live in Berlin right now. one thing that I did that was so much fun that I've always thought about doing is I went to the TV tower. In German, it's called the Fensehturm. And there is a restaurant on top of it. And I had lunch there. And in this restaurant, it spins around and you have 360-degree views of Berlin. It was an experience. Anyone that goes to Berlin, that is something you have to do. It's so touristy. And but you know what? So what? It is so much fun. I had a prefix. I had champagne. I had wine. I had salmon with like a couscous flavored couscous was no, it was couscous with like these other grains, like hard grains, and then I had tomatoes with mozzarella, basil, and then it was so great. It wasn't cheap. It was $120, and you could stay for 2.5 hours. It was totally worth it. So if you're going to Berlin, definitely do lunch or dinner at the TV tower and get reservations first. Get reservations because if you want to go on a Saturday night, you are not going to get a table. If you think you're going to just go there and get a table, you definitely want to go and reserve ahead of time because I wanted to go on the weekend and I was only able to get a table on Monday afternoon. So that was Berlin. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you learned something. And if there's something you'd like for me to talk about, please let me know. Email me. And the addresses and the web links for the places I talked about are in the description for this podcast. And I'll see you soon. Bye.